So this is section 8-2, quadratic formula. Quadratic formula. Okay? And again, the quadratic formula, any quadratic equation you can solve using the quadratic formula. The equation has to be in this form. ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. So before you could use the quadratic formula, I have to get everything over on the left side. Now watch. I'm going to show you where it comes from. If I bring this, you don't have to write this down. You should write down the quadratic formula, but I'm just going to show you. I want to derive it for you because it's kind of interesting. If I subtract c from both sides, okay, I get negative c over on that side, correct? Hello? You with me? Now I complete the square on this part, okay? And so I would go a plus b over 2. I'm just deriving it. I wouldn't write this down. A over b squared equals negative c plus, I add the square of this, which is what? What's the square of b over 2? What's the square of b over 2? B squared over 4. B squared over 4. Okay? Now I find a common denominator. Okay? I find a common denominator. Wait a minute. What did I do? That's right. Where's the a go? I messed up. I knew I messed up. First I have to divide everything by a, right? To get that coefficient by itself. I messed up. Don't ignore that part, okay? So I have x squared plus b over a, b over 2a, x equals negative c over a. Oops, I should have looked at my notes, okay? B over a. I divided everything by a, including the coefficient. Then I complete the square. When I complete the square, I get x plus b over 2a squared, because that's half of this, equals negative c over a plus this thing squared gives you b squared over 4a squared. Then if I find a common denominator, x plus b over 2a of the right side, okay, which is 4a squared, I multiply this term by a over a, and I get negative c a plus b squared, the whole thing over, whoops, I have to multiply this by 4a, and I get the whole thing over 4a squared. And then I take the square root of both sides. When you take it, you don't care, okay? X plus b over 2a. When I square root both sides, I get plus or minus the square root of b squared. I put this after minus 4ac over 4a squared. I pull the 4a squared outside of the box, okay, which gives me equals plus or minus, what's the square root of 4a squared? 2 what? 2a, okay? I get plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac, that's over 2a, okay? Then I subtract b over 2a from both sides. I get negative b over 2a plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. And then I could write that as negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. Okay? This thing here is called the quadratic formula. Okay? So again, you don't have to derive it, okay? But it's not, just so you know, that it's not some mystery. It's not some mystery thing, okay? That's where it comes from. It comes from completing the square with variables, right? How to use a quadratic formula? Put your phone away. You know how to use a quadratic formula?
You plug in the numbers.
You plug in the numbers, okay?
That's how you do that.
That's how you do it. So for instance, if they say solve for x, which they will, solve for x, we will maybe in a minute. 3x squared minus 7x plus 2. 3x squared minus 7x plus 2 equals 0. Okay? Hey, should be writing down some notes and stuff. Get out a piece of paper, Will. Okay? So, what you have to decide is what is A, B, and C. What's A? A is 3, B is negative 7, and C is 2. So then you just plug those numbers right in here, okay? X equals negative B. What's negative 7?
Positive
7. Plus or minus the square root. What's negative 7 squared? Positive 49. Okay, so you have to be careful with that because it's negative 7 minus 4 times A, which is 3, times C, which is 2. The whole thing over 2A, which is 2 times 3. All right? So when you simplify this, so 7 plus or minus 49 minus, what's that? 4 minus 4A, 4AC, minus the square root of 49 minus 24, right? Which over 6, which is equal to 7 plus or minus, what's 49 minus 24? What's 49 minus 24? 25. What's the square root of 25? 5 over 6. Yes? Okay? So you get x equals 7 plus 5 divided by 6, or 7 minus 5 divided by 6. Okay? In this case, you get this is 2/6, which is 1/3. Okay? In this case, what do you get? What's that equal to? Charlie, what's that equal to?
2.
Charlie, what's that equal to? 2. Okay? So that's how you use the quadratic formula. Okay? I'm going to do one more, and then we'll do 2 U tries, and then we'll be done. Okay? So, so the other case with quadratic formulas where this number doesn't come out to be a perfect square number. So say I had 2x squared minus 2x. Go ahead. Get a whiteboard now. Go ahead. You guys do good. Go get a whiteboard and a marker.
Hey, look at this up.
Here, you guys, just if you didn't get, so negative b makes 2, right? 2 plus or minus the square root. Negative 2 squared is positive 4 minus 4 times a, which is 2, times c, which is negative 3. Yes? That whole thing divided by what? 4. Okay? This gives you 2 plus or minus. It's minus a minus. Hey, minus a minus. So you get 4 times 2 is 8, times 3 makes 24, and it's a minus minus, which makes a plus, right? So you get the square root of 28 divided by 4. My answer, that's okay, but it's better to simplify. If you put that into Math Excel, it'll probably say simplify your answer, because how could square root of 28 be broken down? 4 times what? 4 times what gives you 28? 7, right? So you can pull outside, what is the square root of 4? 2. So you can write this as 2 plus or minus 2 root of 7 divided by 4, okay? Keep going, because now what you can do here, 2 goes into all of these numbers. So you can divide away a 2 out of everything. So you can cancel a 2 here, a 2 here, and 2 goes into 4 twice. So this becomes a 1, right? Because you divide everything by 2. So you get 1 plus or minus the square root of 7 divided by 2. So if you're writing this as a math Excel problem, 1 plus square root of 7 divided by 2, or 1 minus square root of 7 divided by 2. Okay? So there's a lot of steps to simplifying your answer. If you wrote 2 plus the square root of 28 plus or minus the square root of 28 divided by 4, I'd probably take off the point and tell you to simplify it. Okay? So I'm just going to give you one more example for you to try, and then we'll be done. Okay? So, but I want to show you something. X times x plus 2 equals negative 5. Before you can use the quadratic formula, you can't just plug things in side. Okay? Take out a piece of paper or pay attention. Okay? What should I do here, David, other than play tic-tac-toe?
Multiply.
Yeah, you want to multiply this out. So you multiply this times this, because you don't have any x squared terms yet. So you have x squared plus 2x equals negative 5. Now can I use the quadratic formula? No. Yeah, you need to get it equal to 0. You can't use the quadratic formula until the right side is equal to 0. So I'm going to add 5 to both sides. X squared plus 2x plus 5 equals 0. Okay? Now you guys try to use the quadratic formula. Okay? Whoops, sorry. Go ahead. Give that a shot now. Okay? So if you do this, please watch, because you're going to have some homework problems that have i's in them. Negative 2 plus or minus the square root of 2 squared, which is 4, minus 4 times a, what's a? 1 times c, which is 5, right? Over 2 times 1, which is 2. So you get negative 2 plus or minus the square root of 4 minus 20 is negative 16 over 2. This is why we did the complex numbers before we did this chapter. Okay? How could I rewrite the square root of negative 16? Let's just do a little simple problem. What's the square root of negative 16?
4 and I.
It's equal to square root of 16 times the square root of negative 1, which David said is 4i. Okay? So what you end up getting is negative 2 plus or minus 4i divided by 2. Like I did in that previous problem, you can divide everything by 2, and you get negative 1 plus or minus 2i divided by 2 is just 1, right? Okay? And so you end up getting negative 1 plus 2i, negative 1 plus 2i, or negative 1 minus 2i. What this means, just graphically, okay, if I were to graph this, I get a parabola like this. Okay? Well, do I get a parabola? No, I get a parabola that looks like this. What this says is that this parabola never crosses the line y equals negative 5. So it never hits this line. That's what these imaginary solutions mean, is that this and this never touch. Okay, that's just kind of what you do. Okay, I'm done. You could start your Math Excel, your 6 problems. Okay, so and they start out kind of easy, and we're